It's Friend of a Friend City. I'm Heather, and I'm here to meet some friends of friends. Welcome back to Friend of a Friend City, where I get to know some friends of my friends from this big small town of Brisbane. Today, my friends Cam and Beth have introduced me to some of their friends. Now, my friend Cam introduced me to you. Your name's Tony Dancer. Cam mentioned you're retired. You're into online moderation.
Yes, I am retired, yes.
You're retired, Tony.
Yes, I've been retired about 5 years now, and
Okay.
I am deeply and truly devoted to moderating, mostly Facebook groups, but I like to use the term online forums.
Online forums, but mostly Facebook groups.
Mostly Facebook groups, yes.
What sort of groups on Facebook are you moderating here?
You might know me from slow cooker recipes for single dads. I also moderate a number of community Facebook groups all across the country.
So not the communities you're in. You just like to...
No, I don't like to talk about it, but no, I do not moderate my very local community Facebook group.
Where do you live, Tony?
I live in the beautiful suburb of Carina Heights.
Ah, Carina Heights.
Yes.
Getting out there on the eastern side of Brisbane.
Well, there is a north side to Brisbane and a south side to Brisbane, and that's it.
Quite some strong opinions about the sides of Brisbane there.
But there's a river right through the middle of it. You're either north or you're south.
North or you're south. So let's just go back to the Facebook groups there. Do you have a favourite that you're moderating right now?
Oh, if I had to choose my favourite child, it would. There is a very vibrant Facebook group that I look after, and it is for crocheting flowers.
Crocheting flowers?
Yes, like beautiful bouquets of crocheted flowers. I don't crochet myself, but I know how to moderate them.
You know how to moderate. Is there a lot to moderate in that community? Because I imagine being a moderator, a lot of work.
It is. It's a full-time job.
It's a full-time. So that's why you're retired, obviously.
Well, it wasn't my choice to retire, but my deep devotion to moderating Facebook groups did get in the way of my day-to-day work. Yes, so I was strongly encouraged to retire.
So you were moved on because you were spending...
No, it was my choice.
It was your choice?
I retired. In hindsight, I should have let them make me redundant. But I did leave of my own accord, yes.
Was redundancy on the table and you just missed out on that or didn't know?
Yeah, I think
if you'd stuck it out.
If I'd stuck it out, there would have been... And I was there 37 years.
What were you doing there, Tony?
I'm a quantity surveyor.
Ah, right. Very, very at-a-desk job, similar to your moderating right now.
Yeah. I like to think of it as I previously moderated the land, now I moderate the people.
You moderate the people.
Yes.
Yes. So back to that crocheting group. There's a bit of controversy amongst the crocheting.
Yes, there is. People have a lot of feelings, a lot of thoughts, and honestly, I don't care about your thoughts and I don't care about your feelings. But what I do care about is an orderly online society.
That's what I was just about to ask you about. So what makes good moderation? What makes you the best moderator here?
I'm firm.
You're firm.
I'm fair. And I have a keen insight into the human psyche. Like if you're going off chops at someone online... I could just ban you, sure. But that doesn't get to the root of the problem, does it? There's something bubbling away under there that makes you like this. And I'm here to find out. So when I ban you, I know why I'm banning you.
How are you doing this? How are you getting into people's psyche online?
It's very easy to steal someone's identity, so it's actually very easy to find out a lot about someone with just a few simple questions. And I put them into all of my... questionnaires, you know when you go to join a Facebook group,
yeah,
and you just can't join it because you got to answer these questions, and if you don't answer my questions, you're not getting in the group. But once you answer those questions, I've got you. You're mine.
You've basically stolen their identity from then.
I've got the information to steal their identity. I don't, because that would be illegal. However, I know so much about you. I know what makes you tick. I know what annoys you. I know your deepest, darkest insecurities. It's just a simple 17 questions.
I'd love you to just name it. What's a few of those questions?
I think one of my favourite questions that I ask people when they try to join one of my online groups is, what do you fear?
What do you fear?
What do you fear?
Do you fear bots? Are you getting a lot of bots on your groups?
They are the bane of my existence, honestly. I once was moderating a Facebook group. It was specifically one where people pretend that they are AI talking to each other. Overnight, 10,000 people joined. Took me 7 months to work out that it was just 10,000 AI robots talking away, and I'm moderating them, I'm banning them. I was the only flesh and blood human on that group.
That's quite a bit of time of your life.
And it was. I dedicated, and then you know what happened? I made one of them a moderator and admin, and they booted me. I let my guard down, so that's why now, if we haven't had an in-person meeting, you are not getting on my moderation team.
Wow, you must be...
I've travelled all over the world to meet people.
I was about to say.
Yeah.
Do you speak a lot of languages there, Tony?
No, I do not. I only speak English.
Are you moderating many Facebook groups in other languages?
Yes, most definitely.
Now that's got to be interesting.
Sometimes you just get the vibe of when someone's being rude to another person.
So let's say you're moderating a slow cooker recipe group.
Yes.
That's in Polish.
Yes.
Happened to you?
I don't have one in Polish. I do have one in Flemish.
And so you're reading through, what is it, practically gibberish to you? You're getting the gist.
I'm getting the gist. I'm getting the vibe. I can see when someone's not following the rules. So in my slow cooker recipe groups, what you do need to do is, if you're posting a recipe, it has to include high quality pictures of the finished product, and it needs to have the recipe written out in text form, no photos of the recipe. Has to be something I can copy and paste into a document that I can then turn into a recipe book that I can sell on Amazon.
You're very industrious.
Well, I basically have to run what is similar to a Bitcoin farm in servers to make sure that I have the computing power to moderate all these Facebook groups. And that costs a lot of money.
It sounds like it would. You must be taking down Carindale pretty often with your power.
We have had a lot of blackouts in the Carindale, Carina Heights area. I remember it was Christmas Eve a couple of years ago, and there was some pretty feisty arguments happening on a Halloween Facebook group that I moderate. And I had to put so much power and energy into that some people's Christmas shopping didn't get done because the whole of Carindale shopping centre went down.
But you kept that discussion in check.
I kept the discussion in check. Some words were spoken to people. And I think at the end of the day, everyone came out a better person. And that's why I do it. I do it for the human race.
You do it for the human race.
I do it for the human race. I do it for manners and decorum and proper online discussion.
Now, I'd just like to get back to a little controversy we had at the start there. You mentioned that there's no east or west of Brisbane. It's only north and south.
Only north and south, correct.
Do you moderate many of these groups where it's one issue? One issue that's come up maybe as a bit of a joke, and then have you taken charge of any of those groups?
I think jokes are for the weak.
Oh.
I think if you're on there, if it's a Facebook group for humour and comedy, I don't moderate meme pages. To me, they're just funny pictures. You know, they're just comedy pictures.
You do find them funny though.
I recognise where humour exists, but I do not laugh out loud. I never lol. I never lameo. I never ruffle. I never ha ha or he. I'm a serious man with a serious mission in life.
You certainly are, Tony. Now, your name there, it's Tony Dancer.
Tony Dancer, yes.
You must get the question often. Any relation?
To who?
To Tony Dancer.
Who's Tony Dancer?
You've never been asked this before.
Never once in my life.
Wow.
What's he?
There's something for you to Google later.
What's he known for?
Look, to be quite honest, I'm not sure.
Right, okay, well, I'm not sure he exists.
I know his name as a person in the zeitgeist.
I think this is a moderation test for me. Because the thing is, I need to be up to date on what's going on in the world, because I don't have time to be Googling things when I have to make a decision about whether to ban someone for something they've said. I like to think of myself as someone with encyclopedic knowledge of the entire world. And unfortunately, this Tony Dancer, who you purport exists, seems to be one of my blind spots.
Yeah, right. Do you ever worry that people in real life are AI?
No, I don't.
You don't?
No, I rarely leave. I rarely leave my bedroom, if I'm being truly honest. I do not own a bed. I sleep standing up. I have a sit-to-stand desk. It's always in the stand position. I'm glad you're standing up. It's a good way to be. Yeah, well, I haven't bent my knees, I think, in 27 months.
In 27 months?
Yeah. I literally walk by sort of, how would you describe it? I kind of teeter from leg to leg outstretched. It's very difficult going up and down stairs.
I hope you have a one level house.
I live in an apartment. It's an old 8-pack. I'm on the top floor.
Well, that sounds like it might be a bit of a struggle, but it sounds like you're doing a lot of work. You're living your life.
I wouldn't have it any other way. I'm the happiest I've ever been.
That's great to hear, Tony.
Thank you. It's not often I get in-person real human emotion.
That's nice.
Thank you.
Now, we do have to move on to our second guest. Can you hang around?
Oh, of course I can hang around after.
Maybe you can do a little bit of moderation.
Oh, I would love to moderate your next interview, if I'm being perfectly honest.
Well, our next guest is a friend of my friend, Beth, and your name is Gerbold. Now, Beth said that you're the Story Bridge troll. I got that right.
Yes, you do. Yeah.
Now,
I'm the bridge troll of the Story Bridge.
I didn't know the Story Bridge had a bridge troll.
I'm going to be completely honest. Since cars came around, my job has become increasingly difficult. It's really hard to ask people to stop driving to answer my riddles when they just drive straight past. And I can't just jump in front of the car to get them to stop. I got to think of my livelihood.
Did you ever try that initially when cars were coming through?
I got wiped out. Took 2 years off in, it would have been 1927, because I got wiped out by a little station wagon. I think that's what you'd call it.
Jeez, in 1927, hard to take 2 years off then.
Yeah, exactly.
So what is your job?
So my profession is to stop people from passing the bridge. They have to answer my riddles first, and then they can pass, or they have to pay a toll, and then they can pass. And if they don't, I'm meant to push them off the side. A lot of complaints about that. I had a lot of lawsuits from that one, so now it's just a firm word. Tell them to do better next time.
Just to do better next time?
Yeah.
Guessing you haven't collected many tolls recently.
I'm not in a great financial position, no. I've had to sell the house. I did have a house. I had a lovely house in Maruka. I had to do the commute. Yeah, had to do the commute, park the car, but I've since had to sell the house, which is... It's really just taken a toll on me mentally, but I got a nice little situation. I've done a little setup on some of the structures underneath the Story Bridge. I've got a little sleeping bag. It's actually quite nice.
Oh, a bit of a shelf nearly. You've set yourself up there.
Yeah, and it's no rent. No rent at all. Work at home, technically, because it's on the bridge.
Yep.
Really good situation. Yeah, I think selling the house was hard, but this is a pretty nice gig I've got going.
Yeah, right. So, what do you think about the Story Bridge nowadays? There's a fair bit of traffic going over it. There's the Story Bridge walkers that go up to the top.
Yeah.
Have you ever tried to do anything with them, or have they paid you off already?
I unfortunately don't have a lot of reign about what happens above the bridge. So I haven't been able to claim anything there. I have tried to run my own tours down the bridge, show them the digs, show them the bachelor pad, I guess. No one's taken me up. No one's taken me up on that one yet. I've tried to get the ladies down. Super not wanting to take that offer. Any day now, though. Any day.
Sounds like you're not having any success with any of these dates you're trying to organise.
I'm truly struggling. And listen, the financial position, like I mentioned, is bad. I've tried to look for other employment. I tried to be one of those trolls that you do something for someone and they promise you their firstborn child, and then they have to guess your name. Turns out Gerbold. Usually people second guess.
Second guess?
Yeah. I say, well, you gotta get the full name. So that guess doesn't count. They say Gerbold the Meek. It's their reflex. I think they get it from my nature.
They just see you and call it.
Yeah, they go the Meek. At this point, I don't think they're trying to guess my name. I think they're trying to insult me. Really affects my psyche. And then the issue with that is the times that they don't get my name, I take their firstborn child and then I've got to raise it. And I've just sold the house. I can't have a baby underneath the Story Bridge. It's just too much.
Has that happened to you? You've had a couple of babies under the Story Bridge already?
Yeah, well, listen, say what you will. I've raised some pretty successful children, okay? Hugh Jackman? I call him Huge Actor Man.
Who's he?
Well, really?
Who's Hugh Jackman?
Who's
Hugh Jackman?
He's a huge actor, man.
Never heard.
Famous Australian actor.
Yeah.
Most recently as Wolverine.
He played...
Like the animal.
Yes. I haven't seen the movie.
In a movie. Fictional.
Right.
Sorry. I guess I'm assuming fiction might be similar to comedy with you or memes. Just, you understand it.
Yeah,
but you're not a fan.
Not a fan, no.
No. So just back to you. Are there any other trolls around? Have you tried to see what they're doing in these modern times?
I had a few troll friends. Most of them have moved on. A lot of them are lawyers. Lot of them are lawyers, yeah.
What makes them... What draws them to law?
Lack of morals.
Ah.
Yeah. The eating the babies things. It was like the next steps in the current day was going on to law, being an attorney. And it's never a DA. It's always that they're big corporation lawyers. They don't take a lot of pro bono. Otherwise, I wouldn't have lost the house.
Oh, that's gotta hurt. So you have lost your home.
Yeah.
In a lawsuit. And the other party has been represented by a troll.
Yeah. Coincidentally, the other party was also a troll trying to steal my house. They were my landlord.
They were your landlord.
They also become a lot of landlords.
You sounds like you've had a rough trot. You did say you sold your house, and then it's obviously become you had to rent.
I lied about selling it. Yeah. It was not by choice.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Boy. Two guests forced into their actions, aren't they?
Yeah.
No, I made my.
Oh, you made
choice.
Tony Dancer. You made your own choices.
Yes.
Yeah, I did not make my choice. Yeah.
Well, I just had one question, if that's all right.
Of course.
Did you put in a tender for the Gateway Bridge or the Clem 7?
A tender?
Well, you're a bridge troll looking, collecting tolls, and there are two examples, or even the go-between bridge. Two bridges that everyone knows you have to pay a toll to cross. yet you were working on the Story Bridge, a traditionally free bridge?
I didn't put in a tender, as much as they can't kick me out.
They can't kick you out.
They try to. They try to.
They try to. So how do you weave away from?
They say, don't come back. And I say, okay, I won't. Next day I'm back on the grind. Grinding.
So you just touched your nose, and that sort of gives you it gives you a bit of an out.
Yeah, exactly. Because I'm magical. I forgot to mention that, yeah.
You're magical.
Yes. Really, it's not helpful magic.
It doesn't sound it with your current position in life.
You're like one of them genies or jinns that, you wish for something, but it's always a little bit skew-if.
Sort of. It's more, I wish for something and it doesn't happen. But I'm able to come back to the bridge a lot. That's the main magic that I have.
That's the main magic.
Yeah.
You can keep
Yeah. I also don't
existing
die.
You don't die.
I don't die.
Oh, that must put...
I've been hit by a lot of cars. The 2-year stint was the worst one.
I'm surprised you haven't... I mean, I don't want to jump into an unethical suggestion for you, but I'm surprised you haven't used the fact that you can't die and can jump in front of cars to create lawsuits against drivers.
I didn't even think of that.
I've got a Facebook group for that. I can add you to it. It's we can't say it outright, but basically it is a group for people to
false lawsuits.
To share tips and tricks on how to get away with fraudulent lawsuits and insurance claims.
Yeah, I might.
Has it got
join
a subtle name to it, just so people don't pick up what it is immediately?
I've got a lot, but from memory, it's Insurance and Lawsuit Fraud Australia.
Oh, right there on the barrel.
Is there a Brisbane specific one?
There are subgroups, yes.
Okay.
We have one for the north side of the river and one for the south side of the river.
Do you moderate both?
Yes, I do.
I would like to join the group. My phone did just get run over by a car, so I'm currently in the process of getting another one, and my process is to grab the ones that get dropped by the people climbing the Story Bridge. Yeah. The minute it hits the bridge, it's mine.
Are you choosy about what kind of phone you get?
I won't get a Samsung. Cameras are terrible.
Yeah, I'd have to agree with Gerbold here that Samsungs are no good. iPhone's where it's at. Or my beloved Windows phone.
I love a Windows. Yeah, I've had a couple of those.
Not made anymore. It's a crying shame, but
Yeah.
iPhone will do.
Wow. It's a shame the Windows phones just they gave up on them.
Windows were at the forefront of technological marvels for years. They gave up on everything. The Windows phone, the Zune. The Zune outperformed the iPod in every possible way, but Bill Gates threw it all down the drain because he wasn't up for a fight.
Do you have a lot of nostalgia groups?
Oh, too many to count if I'm being honest. What's some of my favourite ones are? Whatever happened to trams?
What did happen to trams?
Well, it turns out this was a very specific group that basically just ran. That was from Carindale to Stones Corner residents who just weren't aware of when they removed the trams from Old Cleveland Road. And it wasn't really nostalgia. It was more what happened to them. I missed the memo.
Oh, so they're just really lost.
They weren't sure
they've
when
been
it happened.
they've been waiting at that stop for a while.
Yeah,
just
they're like,
this will show up, won't it?
When's the next tram coming?
I've got to get into the CBD. Where's my tram? They watch the buses go past. They don't get on
They
them.
said, no, I won't take the bus. Gotta wait for that tram.
And they look down at their feet, and then another Facebook group pops up. Where'd the tram tracks go?
Wow. It's just you're really covering every base with these groups.
That one takes up a lot of my
It
time.
must.
A lot of confused old people.
That must be confused old people. Must be your main demographic, correct?
Confused old people, middle-aged people who just have too much time on their hands. The biggest bane of my existence, probably young kids who just go on my groups to cause mischief and nuisance.
Can't have that. Now, just getting back to you, Gerbold. Your bridge trolling. It's not going well, obviously.
Not at all, no.
You've had a rough trot of late.
Yeah.
There's a lot of other businesses popping up. You ever thought about the craft brewing? There's a little brewery underneath the Story Bridge.
There is?
There is.
I can't believe I've not seen it. Wow.
Yeah.
Do you think they're hiring?
They may well be, and with your special skills, I don't know, maybe you've got
Riddles.
something. Riddles?
Yeah.
Can you talk about your riddles, actually? I'd love to know what are you bringing to
Oh, just
these
some
people?
classic ones.
Some classic ones.
Why don't my friends talk to me anymore? What's the deal with airplane food? You know, the classics. Like, you've got to make it so that they can answer it. The answers don't have to be objective. They can be very subjective. And they can really help you in your everyday life.
It really sounds like you're just looking for a conversation.
I'm going to be honest with you. It's been a long time since I've spoken to people. Not a lot of people coming under the Story Bridge. I'm yelling at these cars to stop and they're going straight past. They don't want to talk to a guy that's green, covered in warts, and very clearly lives under the bridge.
I didn't want to mention your appearance, but
Yeah. It's not good.
It's off-putting.
I used to be more of a mint green.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and now I'm just going full not
slimy kind of green.
slimy, not well diarrhea green. I need to see a doctor.
Have you considered joining any online forums?
I've considered making an online forum for bridge trolls.
I imagine that would get a lot of interest.
Yeah, maybe, yeah.
You're a bit busy bridge trolling. You probably don't have time to keep an eye on things, do you?
Yeah, I would need to find a moderator.
Talk to me after the show.
Oh, connections.
You'd take that on.
It's all looking up Gerbold.
You know, I've got a lot to offer the bridge troll community. I can see here that Gerbold here is hurting, and I think if
I got hit by another car earlier today. Yes.
Did not want to mention the exposed bone.
Yeah, your ankle is.
It'll fix itself.
You're going to clean that up, please, right?
Oh yeah, of course.
Oh, great.
I'll get some paper towels.
Thank you.
Yeah, that's no trouble. You got bleach?
I think I've got some bleach. We'll
I can
find
put
out
some
later.
bleach.
If we've...
Get that stain right out of the carpet
Oh,
down there.
perfect.
I don't want to tell you how to suck eggs here, but that's not. You don't want bleach. You don't want bleach for that. You want to get some bicarb soda. You want to gently massage it in, and then you want to use some blotting paper. You can get it online, and that's just going to draw the blood out through the bicarb soda. You can find other helpful tips like that on one of my many cleaning Facebook forums.
Just got it all. Are you offering many of these tips onto there, or are you just moderating the tips that other people are bringing?
Just moderating the tips. I like to think of myself as an anthropologist, and I don't want to, I don't want to insert myself into their culture. I just want to observe it and tell them how it should be.
And tell them how to share it. Now, one last question just on your bridge trolling. Obviously, you're at the Story Bridge. Do you consider yourself a North Sider or a South Sider?
I consider myself a free spirit. I think I go, obviously I lived in Maruka with my house for a bit, so South Sider in that regard. But I've found myself journeying to the North Side sometimes. Have you been to Harris Farm at Clayfield?
Once or twice.
Yeah, great produce. Can't afford it, but I love to just walk through. Really alarms the staff.
Do they try to usher you out, but it just takes a little while because you got to go around the entire store?
Well, the thing is, all of the staff there is super nice, so they're trying not to be obvious about it, but a lot of them are coming up and asking if I need a hand with anything. I'm saying, no, it's all good, just browsing. They say you don't really browse at a grocery store. They say, you've not met me, clearly.
So, one last question for you both, and it may even be just what you've mentioned, but what's your favourite thing to do in Brisbane? Start with you, Tony.
My favourite thing to do in Brisbane is I like to go to Carindale Shopping Centre. Just the old part, not the new part. The new part is an abomination against God. I like
Strong words, Tony.
Well, it's true. Carindale used to be its own thing, and then it became a bit more like a Garden City or a Chermside Shopping Centre. Carindale used to be... it used to mean something. There used to be a Hog's Breath. There used to be an outdoor Hungry Jack's, but not anymore. But I like to go, and I just like to go to the parts that I now miss and just sigh loudly and just pontificate loud enough so people overhear me and ask me, "Oh, what's that?" And I'm like, there used to be a weird jungle gym here that was a big fiberglass tree, but you don't see that anymore, do you? Now it's a smiggle.
But that sounds like a great way to spend the day.
That's my favourite thing to do in Brisbane.
That's your favourite thing to do in Brisbane. What about you, Gerbold?
I've really been enjoying recently going to the West End markets and just talking to the people handing out the big issues. Really striking up a conversation. I think after a certain point they don't enjoy it, but I love to just know how they're going. Yeah, getting any business with the big issues.
Thanks very much. All right, well, we've got to wrap it up there. Are you going to be seeing Cam or Beth anytime soon?
Well, I moderate a few groups for Cam, so I'll be talking to him online.
What about you? Are you seeing Beth anytime soon?
She'll chuck down some stray food sometimes down the side, so I'll probably yell a couple words up. Hey.
That's nice of her. Have you had to steal her firstborn?
She has promised me that if she has one, she'll give it to me without me making a deal with her.
Wow.
Really kind of her.
Very kind.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's all we have time for. Thank you so much, and thanks for being on Friend of a Friend City.
Hi Heather, it's Cam. I just want to say thanks for having Tony on the show. He's not going through a easy time, but if you do talk to him anytime soon, could you just ask him if he could re-add me to the Big Fork Theatre Facebook group? He banned me a couple of weeks ago. Anyway, hope you get this message. Cheers.
Hey Heather, it's Beth. Thank you so much for giving Gerbold something to do. I'm getting a lot of text messages. It stopped for a bit. I think he broke his phone or something, but he's really not doing well. So I really appreciate you giving him something to do. While he's there, just make sure you do not make any deals or promises. He's already got 2 kids. Cannot afford to take on a third.